prop firms and casinos. Most traders hate hearing this, but when prop firms were created, they borrowed directly from the model casinos were built. They both have the potential to trigger the craving, the addiction, and the repetition as we know it. And if you're not aware of the parallels between them, you'll keep yourself trapped into the cycle of buying challenges, blowing up live accounts, to buy more challenges, and so on. But there's a nuance here. Unlike casinos, prop accounts can actually work in your favor if and only if you are able to treat them with the right mindset. And that's why we're here today. I will draw that parallel and, most importantly, help you flip the script into seeing prop accounts as training grounds for the actual emotional skills you want to create to become a long-term profitable trader. Stick with me. So let's talk about the parallel number one, which is the price illusion. When you go to a casino, you only need a very small amount of money in order to play. And it happens the same thing with prop firms. Notice that you only need $50 to get a $50K account and $100 to get a $100K account. And this gap in perceived value, it's not there by accident, is to disconnect you from reality. Because the worst case scenario, if you blow up the account, you're out another $50 and you will buy the next challenge. So that's not the point. And the point is not the money, as traders think. The point is the lack of self-confidence after you blow up the challenge. Because confidence is the capital your edge needs to survive. And once that it's gone, there's no amount of funding that will replace it. Parallel number two, and this is something that I talk a lot about, it's the dopamine loop. Notice that in casinos, they play with the physiology of the brain in order to keep you in the game, to keep you playing, to keep you spending your money there. So pretty much all the games are set to make you perceive that you're about to get the reward. You're about to win in the slot machine or in the roulette or in the blackjack, but then you lose. And these near miss activates dopamine in your bloodstream that will make you want to keep playing. And the exactly same thing happens in your trading. We have the challenge, and then we have a target that you need to reach in order to pass to the live account. Once you get very close to that target or to the payout, your brain will perceive it as I'm almost there. I need this extra push. And if you blow up the account, then you will run to buy another challenge, thinking that that time will be different. But what really changes? Nothing. You're the same trader, you're bringing the same patterns, probably the same trading mistakes, and the same lack of accountability. So you are trapped in this self-sabotaging cycle without knowing why. And if you have your own already defined trading system and you keep struggling with trading mistakes, not knowing how to self-correct, then I host these quarterly webinars in my weekly newsletter. Actually, the next one is coming soon on October 4th, and will be about the power of maximizing your self-awareness. You will walk away being able to recognize your patterns in real time, to uncover your blind spots, to regulate yourself in real time, and stop finally making those trading mistakes. So I will leave the link to register below in the description. I'll see you there. Parallel number 3, building versus buying. When me and my sister, we were kids, my father gave us, each one of us, a seed, an orange seed to plant in our backyard. And so me and my sister, we went without knowing how trees really work, and we planted the seed under the soil, and then we watered it, we took care of it for a pretty long time. And I remember being impatient because the seed, the tree wouldn't break the soil. So it took quite a while. And this is exactly the difference between your personal, your cash account, and your prop firm account. Notice that with the personal account, this is money that you saved, that you probably worked for, that you earned. So there's a different level of accountability with that money, and you will not screw up so easily. Whereas in prop accounts, the money was never yours. It's demo money, so there's no accountability with that money. The worst case scenario is you lose it and you go buy another $50 challenge. So what I mean by this is that most traders treat these accounts as disposable. And if you keep having that same level of low accountability, then you will not be able to break out of the loop. There's this client of mine, his name was Josh, and he was trading two accounts. He was trading the prop account and he was trading his personal account with his personal money. And he was using this copy trading tool, right? And every time you would feel the urge to make a mistake, to oversize, overtrade, impulsive entries, you would do it on the prop account, but not on the personal account. This is the difference in accountability. And so what resulted is that the equity curve in his personal account was stable. The drawdowns were not so big because he was able to control the downside. But on his prop account, the equity curve had a bigger volatility. It would blow up accounts. So the personal account was still intact while he would keep on buying more prop and prop accounts. I write about these client case examples in my newsletter all the time in detail. We go over what they struggled with, the solutions we implemented, the process we went through. So I'll leave the link in the description below if you haven't subscribed yet, and you can visit the past posts and also have access to the webinars. Parallel number 4, players versus the house. In casinos, they've built an edge for themselves, and they trust this edge. So all they need is to attract people with their marketing to play with their rules in their house. And in trading, what happens is that if you go in with a player mindset, you are focused in the next role, in the next trade, short-term thinking. Whilst the house focuses on the long term. They are interested in collecting a very big sample of trades, and they have multiple people playing their game. And it's the exact same thing with these prop accounts. If you approach them like a lottery ticket, then you are tunnel vision. You're not seeing the big picture, and you will get trapped in short-term emotions. But if you see them as long-term, if you see them as the scientist collecting valid pieces of data every time, valid trades, to gather in your big sample of trades, then you're approaching it with the long-term. The problem is that most traders are players, and they are not acting like the house. But there's this little difference in the casino versus prop accounts, which is the rules of the casino are fixed. And this gives the player a sense of certainty, a sense of control, which gives them a psychological safety net. They think they are more likely to win because they have everything they need to know. Now, in trading, the market conditions are never the same. The price section changes from day to day. So the only variable we can keep fixed is your system, your plan, and your behavior with it in the market. So if you trust your system, if you trust the casino you've built for yourself, then you'll be able to be an excellent player. But if you're always doubting, always changing your process, always resorting to overtrading, oversizing on all of those mistakes that we know, then you'll keep yourself trapped in the loop. You will never get to be the house because you don't have the confidence that it takes to play your own rules. So the edge doesn't come from certainty. The edge comes from your ability to handle uncertainty. And finally, parallel number 5, short-term wins versus long-term edge. In casinos, the way they vary, they distribute the results. They do it in a way to keep the player engaged and hooked and keep on playing. They might have a 5 winning streak followed by a loss, then more wins and more losses. And so the player has this feeling that they are mastering the game when they are in that winning streak and that they are getting closer to the bigger reward. And in prop firms, the same happens. So you might win one challenge or 2 or 3 challenges, but that is not a reflection of your trading skill. And this is what many traders get wrong. They think that because they pass challenges, they are closer to consistency and to mastery. And honestly, what they're closer to is the end of the loop of self-sabotage. And on top of this, even if you get to the payout, traders lack confidence in their skills. So what they'll do is to withdraw the maximum amount available they can do for the payout. And then when they come back, they only get it difficult to keep the consistency. So they are really playing the short-term game. If they are not confident that they can get consistent payouts, then when they have one available, they will go crazy. And now I want to share with you a client case example. And this is something that happens to multiple traders I cross paths with. And this client was struggling with the same loop. He was buying challenges, passing them, getting the live, blowing account. Buying more challenges, passing them, live, blowing up account, and so on. And we made 5 crucial changes that I think all traders trading prop accounts need to do urgently if you want to go from short-term thinking to long-term consistency with the payouts. We actually went through a 6-step process as well, and I talk a lot about the client case scenarios in my newsletter. So once again, if you want to have access to these, it's free. Go to the link in the description below and subscribe. But coming back to the 5 changes, the first one was in mindset. So we started work on my client's mindset in a way to see these prop accounts as training grounds for the emotional skills that would get him the long-term trader he aspired to be. Not as passing a target, but as this training ground, as this practice of the emotional skill of patience, discipline, consistency. So that was the first thing. The second thing was the structure of the payouts. Most traders, from what I see, they are paying themselves every time there's a payout available. But what we did differently was to delay that payout till the end of the month. So 1 payout per month. And even if he had a payout available, he would have to delay the short-term gratification to prioritize consistency until the date of the payout would come. And there, we would decide on the right amount of percentage to take out. Not a predefined, always the same one, but according to his performance and his results. One that respected his equity curve and his balance, so that when he would come back, he would not be without any buffer. He would have the same buffer to build himself again until the next payout. The third change was, if my client would blow up a live account, he was not allowed to go buy immediately another challenge. You had to go through a process of reflection, journaling, and analysis of the trades he took. Even if those trades were very impulsive, he needed to sit with those trades, analyze them, and actually experiencing the pain because he screwed up, and he needs to make himself accountable for that. Now, if he runs away from that journaling process, from that self-reflection, and goes to buy another challenge, then exactly the same thing will happen. So in that break, the recovery and the self-reflection, it would serve to create action plans to improve the very things he did wrong. And so the accountability was raised this way. Now, the fourth thing was about the risk management. Notice that when you are trading these accounts, let's say a 100K account with a 10% daily drawdown, maximum drawdown limit, you're not really trading the 100K. You're trading the 10K. So you need to position size accordingly. And most of all, take the drawdowns, the maximum drawdown statistic of your strategy into account for your risk management. Because what happens is that traders think they will get winning streaks and losses in between, but then they have a 3 losing streak and then they are out of the game. They blow up the account. So you have to account for these worst case scenarios. So stop sizing as if you're gonna, stop sizing to win the account, start sizing by preparing yourself to lose and to have drawdowns so that that balance can account for those drawdowns without killing your performance. And fifth, the last one but not least, these are non-negotiable routines. So from what I see, most traders focus on execution only. They are not focusing on the ecosystem of trading routines that are needed to have confidence in that same execution. Now, what happens is, if you're only executing, then you don't have the basis of the pyramid that supports you when things go wrong, when you get into a drawdown or a losing streak. And notice that this is something that happens in all performance skills. The tennis player, the basketball player, they don't only execute. They have a whole set of routines, recovery routines, preparation routines that help them get themselves into their ideal performance mindset. And here is the same. You need a pre-market routine, you need a journaling routine, a post-market recovery routine, and a post-session routine, if you will. So all these micro routines are the ground in which your execution can emerge. The result, with these 5 changes, my client changed his whole way of handling prop accounts. And it didn't happen overnight. And not only with these 5 changes, we went through a process, coaching calls, chat support. So there was a lot more. But these 5 changes were at the core. And so we started to withdraw consistently from his live account. And he started to see them with a level of accountability, with a level of discipline, patience, and confidence as well as a professional trader. So here's my question to you. Do you want to be the player in the casino, or do you want to be the house? Prop accounts can be a trap, but they can also work in your favor if you're able to handle them with the right mindset and tools. So apply these 5 changes and see for yourself the difference in results you'll experience. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please share your biggest takeaway from this video in the comments below. And don't forget, if you want to attend to my next webinar on October 4th, I will leave the link in the description below. We will have a past client sharing his story from impulsivity to consistent profitability. And I'll also give you at the end a journal, a psychological template for you to uncover your blind spots in real time and start crafting your way out of the self-sabotaging loop to get consistent payouts. See you there.